Hello students, welcome back to SGC online chemistry classes. This is lecture number 6 on the topic states of matter. Well dear students, as a recapitulation from the last two lectures where I have tried by taking the different kinds of examples, numericals. So those such kind of problems which have appeared in the examination, both in the theory as well as competitive examinations, we discussed over those numerical part from the last two lectures. Well, after that, in the syllabus, which is a retained part of the syllabus, the very important theory which we are going to discuss in the today's class, and that theory is none other than kinetic molecular theory of gases. Kinetic molecular theory of gases. This theory was given by Alfred Bernoulli, the scientist Alfred Bernoulli, in the year 1738 with the help of the different contributions from different scientists who were at that time, such as Pauling, Maxwell, Boltzmann and others. Well, and the question on this part has appeared like this. Write any three postulates of kinetic molecular theory of gases, or explain kinetic molecular theory of gases. For that, we have to frame the answer by taking the three, whatever the number of postulates asked, that we have to write as per the question asked. Come on, let's collect the postulates of kinetic molecular theory of gases one by one. Postulates, same as assumptions. Postulates, nothing but assumptions of kinetic theory of gases. Well, dear students, why this is called kinetic molecular theory of gases? Let's understand. So according to this theory given by Alfred Bernoulli, the theory it considers the gases which are made up of a large number of tiny particles called molecules, and these molecules are under ceaseless motion. They were under continuous motion. Because of that reason, it is called kinetic molecular theory, or it is also called as a dynamic particle model also. This theory is also referred as a dynamic particle model. Come on, let's collect the postulates or assumptions of this theory one by one. The first postulate says the gases are made up of large number of small particles, and those particles are called molecules. Come on, let's understand what postulate 1 says. Gases are made up of large number of tiny particles. Tiny in the sense small. Large number of small particles, tiny particles, called molecules, which are called molecules. Large number of small particles which are called molecules. Come on, postulate 2. What second postulate says? These molecules are in a state of random motion. These molecules are in a state of random motion in straight line. These molecules move randomly. These molecules move randomly in all possible directions. In a straight line. in a straight line. These molecules move randomly in all possible directions in a straight line during which they collide with one another. They collide with one another and with the walls of the container. With the walls of the container. With the walls of the container. Let me repeat the second postulate. Well, students, what first postulate says? Each and every gases, they were made up of large number of small particles called molecules. Second postulate, these molecules move randomly in all possible directions. In all possible directions in a straight line. During that motion, what happens? They may hit with one another and also with the walls of the container. They may hit among themselves or hit on the walls of the container. That is the postulate number 2. Come on, collect the postulate number 3. What it says? The collisions are perfectly elastic. These collisions are perfectly elastic. The collisions are perfectly elastic. They are perfectly elastic. What is the meaning of elastic? There is no loss of kinetic energy before or after the collision. There is no loss of kinetic energy. It remains same. The total kinetic energy of the molecules before and after the collision remains the same. That is the meaning of elastic. So what is the meaning of elastic? See, dear students, when the molecule hit with the another molecule, there may be an exchange of energy. When molecule 1 hit with the molecule 2, there may be an exchange of energy, but the overall total kinetic energy of the molecules, when you take the total kinetic energy of the molecules before or after the collision, which remains the same, which is the meaning of elasticity. The collision between themselves or the collision on the walls of the container, which is perfectly elastic. Point number 4. Postulate number 4. So what the postulate number 4 says? The volume of the molecules, the volume of molecule is negligible. The volume of individual molecule, this is important. The volume of the individual molecule is negligible. The volume of individual molecule is negligible and comparing with the total volume of the gas in comparison with total volume of the gas, in comparison with total volume of the gas. Postulate number 4 says, when you take an individual molecule, the volume of the individual molecule is negligible, ignorable, when you compare with the total volume of the gas. Such as when we take in the classroom the space occupied by the position occupied by individual molecule and the position occupied by rest of the molecule. So the individual molecule place occupied by individual student is negligible when we compare with the total space occupied by rest of the students. Like that, the volume of individual molecule is negligible, ignorable in comparison with the total volume of the gas molecules, Postulate number 5. What postulate number 5 says? See, the fifth postulate says there is no force of attraction, no forces of attraction between the molecules of gas. No forces of attraction, no forces of attraction or repulsion between the molecules of gas, between the molecules of gas. So the fifth postulate says there are no forces of attraction or the repulsion between the molecules of gas. Neither they attract nor they repel. Come on. Sixth postulate, the pressure of a gas, the pressure of a gas is due to the collision, is due to the collisions of the molecules on the walls of the container, on the walls of the container. This has appeared in the CET. This point has appeared in a competitive exam like KCET. This has appeared. So the pressure of the gas is due to, with several options. The pressure of the gas is due to, one, due to the collision between the molecules. Second, between the molecules and with the walls of the container. Third, both A and B. Last, none of these. So like that permutation and combination, a question has appeared. Do remember, as all property of the gas, that all gases exert pressure. The pressure exerted by gas is due to what factor? It is due to the collisions of the molecules with the walls of the container. The pressure of a gas is due to the collisions of the molecules with the walls of the container. Postulate number 6. Postulate 7. The last postulate. We'll end with the 7th postulate. What is this? As the molecules are in a state of continuous motion, and that motion result in acquiring a kind of energy that is associated with the kind of energy, kinetic energy. See, the energy by virtue of the motion, what is called as a kinetic energy. Here the postulate 7 says the average kinetic energy, the average kinetic energy of the gas molecules or molecules of a gas, which is directly proportional to absolute temperature, is directly proportional to the absolute temperature of the gas. Absolute temperature of the gas, I have written in the available space. What is the point? The average kinetic energy of the gaseous molecules, which is directly proportional to what? Absolute temperature of the gas. If the temperature of the gas is at the higher temperature level, the molecules will possess more kinetic energy. When temperature is decreased, the kinetic energy also decreases. This is how the kinetic energy of the molecules and the temperature, which are directly proportional to each other, that with the 7th postulate, all the postulates of kinetic theory of gases completed. So here these two are very important, which all are important, but a question has appeared over these points in the competitive exam. The pressure of the gas is due to the collisions of the molecules on the walls of the container with the walls of the container. Second, the average kinetic energy of the molecule is directly proportional to absolute temperature. Make a note, absolute must be there, absolute temperature. Come on. Looking further, if I go, these postulate 4 and 5, they later part, another scientist by name Van der Waal, who discarded these two postulates 4 and 5. Let's collect once again all the postulates of kinetic theory of gases before we conclude this. The kinetic molecular theory of gases was given by Alfred Bernoulli. in the year 1738 with the help of well-known scientists who were at that time. It consists of following postulates or assumptions. Postulate 1. All the gases are made up of large number of small particles called molecules. Second, these molecules are in a state of random motion in a straight line. During their motion, they collide with one another or with the walls of the container. Third, these collisions are perfectly elastic, that is, no loss of kinetic energy during the collision. Come on. Point number 4, the volume of the individual molecule. When you take individual molecule, the volume occupied by individual molecule is negligible on comparing with the total volume occupied by the gas molecule, rest of the gas molecules. Coming to the next postulate number 5, there are no forces of attraction or repulsion between the molecules of gas. This theory says neither there is a force of attraction or repulsion between the molecules of gas. Come on, these fourth and fifth in the later discussion they goes wrong, and these were proved wrong and by another scientist which we discussed in later discussion. Come on, postulate number 6, the pressure of the gas is due to collision of the molecules on the walls of the container. Postulate next, seventh one, the average kinetic energy of the molecules is directly proportional to the absolute temperature. So this is what about the kinetic molecular theory of gases. Well, dear students, after collecting the kinetic theory of gases, the postulates of the kinetic molecular theory of gases, let's continue our discussion with the heading behavior of real gases. With the heading behavior of real gases. Behavior of real gases. Well, students, behavior of real gases. See, in the earlier discussion we come across the ideal gas and we derived the ideal gas equation also. There what we said, what are ideal gases? One more question. The gases which obeys the gas laws, particularly Boyle's law, Charles' law, Avogadro's law, at all temperature and pressure. At all temperature and pressure is said to be, such gases are said to be ideal gases. Then what about non-ideal gases? The gases which does not obey the gas laws, the gases which does not obey Boyle's law, Charles' law and Avogadro's law, at all conditions of temperature and pressure are said to be non-ideal. See, for your kind information, I said the existence of ideal gas is an imaginary idea. No such gas is commonly existing. No such gas is commonly existing. So, no such gas is commonly existing. So, whatever the gas existing gases such as dioxygen, dinitrogen, so carbon dioxide, ammonia, all these gases are said to be real gases. All these gases are said to be real gases. Come on. None of these gases which are existing around us, the gases existing around us, those are real gases. How do they behave? How do they behave? Let us study to understand the behavior of real gases, and that can be studied with the help of a curve, and those curves are called PVP curves. Those are studied with the help of a curve called PVP curves. PVP curves. That means the value of magnitude of pressure and volume were plotted. They were plotted along y-axis, while the pressure is plotted along x-axis. Is plotted along x-axis. So PV, product of pressure and volume, and against the pressure, product of PV against pressure. So those graphs are called PVP graphs or PVP curves. Even these are also called as Amagat's curves. These were studied by a scientist by name Amagat. That's why these are also called Amagat's curves. Come on. See how the real gases like carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, how they were going to behave when plotted or studied with the help of these curves. Come on, students. Here, as you know, for an ideal gas, which is an hypothetical idea, for the ideal gas, what you have? The PVP, the product of PV remains constant with rise of whatever extent of pressure. So this is a line. This is a line for ideal behavior. The PV value remains constant. This, which is in parallel with the pressure axis, this is ideal gas behavior. Ideal gas behavior. This is ideal gas behavior. The product of PV remains constant with increase of pressure at a given condition. So this is for ideal behavior. But no such a commonly none of the real gases were showing such kind of behavior. They were deviating from this behavior. Suppose if I take for a hydrogen by taking the PV value against the pressure, so the Amagat or a scientist who have obtained a curve of this kind for the hydrogen. So this is a curve obtained for the hydrogen. This is a curve obtained for the hydrogen. And next, helium. For the helium, the curve is obtained as such. So these are the curve obtained for hydrogen and helium. Further, a scientist who have studied different gases by taking different gases for the carbon dioxide. So for the carbon dioxide, they have obtained a curve of this kind. This is for carbon dioxide. This is for carbon dioxide. Next, by another gas, by the ammonia, for ammonia gas or methane gas, the curve is obtained as such. This is for methane, CH4. Well, dear students, so you can notice in the curve, the three different curves you are noticing. So this one dotted line which is going parallel to pressure axis or x-axis, that is the behavior of an ideal gas. So what are ideal gas? The gases which obeys Boyle's law, Charles' law at all conditions of temperature and pressure. So this is the behavior of ideal gas. Come on. No such behavior is obtained, no such behavior is noticed by the gases like hydrogen, helium, methane and carbon dioxide. The gas like hydrogen, helium, methane and carbon dioxide, they were not behaving like an ideal. Instead, they were deviating from the ideal behavior. They were deviating from the ideal behavior. Come on, I can show you graphically. The curve for the hydrogen is showing a positive deviation from the ideal behavior. So this is the dotted line for the ideal behavior. For the curve like hydrogen and helium, which were shown by different color, those were showing a positive deviation from the ideal. They were going straight line and showing positive deviation from this. But the blue lines for the gas like methane and carbon dioxide, these curves are initially showing a negative deviation at low pressure conditions. Initially the curve decline and reaches certain minimum, certain level, reaches certain level, does not touch the pressure axis. See, for the blue lines, when for the carbon dioxide and methane, the curve which decreases and reaches minima, then after with increase in pressure, the line goes by crossing the ideal behavior, shows the positive deviation. I mean to say, the real gases like hydrogen and helium, from beginning, when you take low pressure or high pressure, they were showing a positive deviation from ideal behavior. For the gas like methane and carbon dioxide, initially they were showing a negative deviation from ideal behavior. From the curve you can notice, this is line meant for ideal. These curves are getting decline. They were showing initially a negative deviation and reaches a certain level. Then onwards, with increase in pressure, they cross the ideal behavior and shows the positive deviation. That means The gas like hydrogen and helium, they were showing positive deviation at low pressure and high pressure, while the gas like carbon dioxide and methane, they were showing negative deviation at the low pressure. With further increase in pressure, they were showing the positive deviation by crossing the ideal behavior line. So this is what the behavior of real gases was studied, and the what is called the deviation, nothing but they were deviating from the ideal behavior. This is a line for ideal. None of the real gas were obeying this ideality. That means they were deviating from the ideal behavior. Come on, dear students, the deviation of ideal behavior, see, deviation from ideal behavior, the deviation of real gases, same as deviation of real gases from ideal behavior is also studied. The deviation of, as from the graph you notice, hydrogen, helium, methane, carbon dioxide, many other gases were showing a deviation from ideal behavior. The deviation of real gases from the ideal behavior is also studied by one of the factor what is called is also studied by behavior is studied by one of the factor, and that factor what is called compressibility factor is also studied by one factor. What is that called? Compressibility factor. Compressibility factor, and is denoted as Z. So as you know from the ideal gas equation, PV equals to nRT, then how the Z is defined? See, Z is equals to, so PV equals to nRT, you know, it is PV by nRT. PV by nRT, that is the compressibility factor. I repeat, what is compressibility factor? The compressibility factor is nothing but the ratio of product of pressure and volume to the product of number of moles, gas constant and temperature. PV by nRT is nothing but a compressibility factor. So what is the significance of this compressibility factor? Remember, by knowing the Z values, we can notice, we can study the deviation of real gases from the ideality, how they were going to show the deviation from their ideality. This is the meaning. And with this, I can write, if the Z value is 1, in the competitive exam the question has appeared. How? If Z value is 1, make a note. What is that? If compressibility factor Z. So how this Z value is obtained? By plotting a curve. Like Z against pressure. Z value against pressure. So this is line for ideal, and different curves were obtained. This is called Z against P. If Z value is 1, if compressibility factor is 1, that is for the ideal behavior. That gas is for ideal gas. So you may get a question, what is the value of compressibility factor for ideal gas? It is none other than 1. If Z value is equals to 1, and that gas is called ideal gas. Now make a note, if Z value is not equals to 1, if it is not equals to 1, so that corresponds to what? That corresponds to real gas. And there are two part one can notice. If Z value is not equals to 1, means it may be a lesser than 1, or it may be a greater than 1. Make a note. So if it is not equals to 1 means real gas. Real gas is nothing but the all existing gases like hydrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, ammonia, sulfur dioxide, etc. Come on. If Z value is less than 1, see, Z value is going to be lesser than 1. Z value is going to be lesser than 1 for gases, for gas like if Z value is lesser than 1 for gas like what? CO2, CH4, NH3, SO2, etc. For these gases, Z value is lesser than 1. Why? See, these are the gases in which are easily liquefiable gases. These are easily liquefiable gases. These are the gases which are easily liquefiable. You can liquefy them by increasing the pressure and by decreasing the temperature. So, easily liquefiable gases for which Z value is going to be less than 1. What we notice here in this, in the case of those gases, intermolecular forces of attraction, intermolecular forces, forces of attraction are, I can write, intermolecular forces of attraction is more. Intermolecular forces of attraction is high. Easily liquefiable in the sense intermolecular forces of attraction is high, is greater. For those gases which can be liquefied easily means intermolecular forces of attraction is higher, for which Z value is going to be lesser than 1. Come on, next point I can write here itself in continuation. Z value is less than 1 is over. Z value greater than 1. Z value greater than 1 for gases like H2, He, helium and other inert gases, H2, hydrogen, helium and other gases. These are the gases for which Z value is greater than 1. So these are not easily liquefiable gases. These are gases which are not easily liquefiable, not compressed, easily liquefiable. Liquefiable means non-compressible gases. Liquefiable means compressibility is more, which compressible gases. So non-easily liquefiable gases in which the intermolecular forces of attraction, instead of attraction, this is intermolecular forces of attraction here. So I can write intermolecular forces of repulsion. R stands for repulsion, A stands for attraction. In the non-easily liquefiable gases, intermolecular forces of repulsion is high. Remember, the point of conclusion is, I do repeat, behavior of real gases that can be studied by PVP curves, also called Avogadro's curves. What is plotted PV against P? So this dotted line is for the ideal behavior that remains parallel to the pressure axis. No such behavior is obtained from the existing gases which are called real gases. So hydrogen, helium, methane and carbon dioxide, they were deviating from the ideal behavior. The deviation of real gases from the ideal behavior also studied by one of the factor, and that factor is called compressibility factor. So what is compressibility factor? It is the ratio of PV by nRT. By plotting Z value against y-axis, pressure against x-axis, one can study the Z value. If Z value is equal to 1, then it is meant for the ideal gas. If it is not equals to 1, that is for the real gases. When it is not equals to 1 means there are two possibilities. It may be a lesser than 1 or it may be a greater than 1. If Z value compressibility factor is lesser than 1, that corresponds to the gases which can be compressed easily, that can be liquefiable easily, such as carbon dioxide, sulfur trioxide, ammonia, methane, etc., for which intermolecular forces of attraction is high. Come on. The Z value is greater than 1 for the gases which are non-compressible gases, which cannot be liquefied easily. There the intermolecular forces of repulsion is higher than the attraction. So this is what regarding the behavior of real gases. Okay students, so in the today's lecture we have covered the postulates of kinetic molecular theory of gases. There are 7 postulates, followed by the behavior of real gases by PVP curves and by 1 mark part compressibility factor. Compressibility factor, if Z equals to 1 meant for ideal, if it is less than 1 for the gases which can be compressed easily, liquefiable easily, Z equals to greater than 1 for the gases which cannot be liquefied them easily. Come on dear students, in the next class we shall collect. So what are the reasons for the deviation of real gases from the ideal behavior, followed by the modified equation for the perfect gas equation called van der Waals equation in the next video, next class. Thank you.